You got one life, for crying out loud. You might as well just give it all you got.
The Deej, Dan Jordan.
Your daily dose of reality. Your daily dose of the Deej.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need my daily dose of the Deej.
I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader.
The Sales Energizer, Dan Jordan.
Listen, don't worry how to sell, baby. Worry about why people buy. And it's fun.
You don't need a 5-hour energy. All you need is the Sales Energizer.
Just when I think it's not going to be as fun as the one before, each one gets successfully better. Success. What's the word I'm looking for? What's it going to take to get you into this car today, huh?
And now, please welcome the Sales Energizer, Dan Jordan.
Boom!
That's exactly it. Do that. Let's do that. Chris Stone, my man. It must be Wednesday. There's Stone on the air. That's how we roll.
I like that. I might use that. I might like that. Create a T-shirt or something.
Stone on the air.
There's Stone on the air. There's something there. There's something there with Stone on the air.
We gotta work on it. You see, that's what. By the way, that's what people do when if people get writer's block and things like that. And a lot of sales. All right, I'm into it now. Stand back. A lot of sales is nothing more than copywriting verbally, and a lot of copywriting is just a sales presentation written down on paper. And so when you're trying to put together a presentation, I always tell people, man, just start talking. And then something will come out and you'll say something like Stone on the air, and then you got something to work with. It just goes like that. What do you think of that for a little just wisdom right off the bat?
I like that. And if we're going to segue a little bit into tech tools, you can use Google for that. You open up a Google Doc and it can transcribe, and all of the things that you say just start. Yeah, now, they don't get all the words right, though. So sometimes you'll say, pickle, and the word will be something else you probably didn't say.
Olive.
Well, no, I mean, it's close.
But,
those are okay.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter because your first draft of whatever you write is screwed up anyway. So you're going to have to go back to it too. Hey, really funny story. Can I tell you a story? And this is just for me and you.
It's your show. You can tell as many stories as you want. June Cline is backstage eating all our cookies and drinking all of our orange juice. So
that's right. Well, this is for her too. And so I went to visit a prospect way up north, an hour or so north of where I was. And then right next door, they had a knife store. And, I was told, my dad told me, he says, always carry a pocket knife. He's always, a man isn't a man who doesn't carry a pocket knife. And so and there was a knife store. There was a knife store next to this place. I've never been in a knife store. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a knife store.
Yeah.
It's really cool. They have all these, kind of hunting stuff and outdoorsy things and kitchen knives, and they made their own knives, and then they had a sharpening thing. And so the guy was showing me the sharpening thing, and I'm like, I can't stay here all day. And so I told him I got to leave. And then another customer was watching us do this thing, and he says, I would think you would be making a video about this thing. And I looked at him and I said, excuse me? And he says, you're the Deej, right? And I'm like, all of a sudden, instantaneously, my head grew 3 sizes. And I felt compelled to turn it on.
Of course.
And be funny and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really know what to say to engage this thing and be funny. And then I said, thank goodness tomorrow, which is today, we have the actual person who can teach us how to actually be funny on cue, which is near impossible. When someone says, hey, you should watch this guy, he's funny, it screws everything up. But our next guest actually figured out a way to do it. And so without any further ado, please help me welcome my friend and just a gift for humanity, Miss June Cline.
Here she is. Hands in the air. Keep your hands in the air like you don't care. Okay, now this is what I do.
Raise the roof.
Keep it up. Keep them up. I'm going to have you add a little shake like you're going 8. Okay? This is
Come on, Dan.
You're eating grass now. Woo!
Okay.
All right, there you have it. See,
That was fun.
guy in the movie in the store right there. So many things to say. I did just go ape. Have you go ape? And let me explain that really quickly. It's
Wait, well, hold on one second. Are you hearing crunchy or is that just me?
crunchy.
Yeah, there's a little bit of your clipping in your microphone. So
Are you do you have things in your ears and your hair's touching it, or are you just using your mic from your thing?
Oh, is it this? Hold on.
No. I meant if you had a headset, but that's good. You have very nice lobes. I apologize. Keep going.
Is that better? No.
I think so. I think it is.
Okay.
I think that did the trick.
I had dangly earrings in my hair. So there you go.
Okay. All right.
There you go. There you go. I think when we went ape, the internet just
It exploded.
exploded.
So wait, you do that with like executives and in presentations and all that stuff?
Yeah, I
Really?
do. Yeah, especially if it's after lunch. Then I just say, hey, can you trust me? Are you going to trust me? And so I get them to buy in with that just a little bit. And then I have them go ape. Some do, some don't. We'll talk about that a little later. But they always start laughing when I have them act like they're eating grass. But then you never have anybody do anything stupid without a point. So here's the point. I just had you go ape, which stands for awareness, permission, and fun.
That's it. Ape.
Wait a minute. Awareness, permission, and fun. That's APH. Or I'm sorry, that's APF.
We got more problems here than I thought. Okay. APF doesn't spell anything, does it? But if you have people go ape, they will always remember now awareness, permission, and to have fun, which means you have to change things up. It has to be a surprise, which is what I just did with you all. And once I do that with a group of execs or people, an audience, then they like me more better. And because it's something really silly and really goofy that they don't normally do. But oh my gosh, the people that have told me, emailed me, texted or whatever to say, I went ape and it saved everything. There you have it.
All right, that's how she rolls. But I mean, that's a difficult thing, and I run into that because sometimes you give presentations and people, they'll do their introduction of you and they'll say something like, oh, and this guy, be prepared to laugh. This guy's really funny, and they put that extra pressure on you.
Oh yeah.
And it screws you up. But you actually do presentations on teaching people how to be funny. How do you satisfy the audience when the expectations are that high?
Well, I have to go. I'm going to tell you a little story of back in the day.
There's got to be something covering your microphone or something. It wasn't like that before. Is there any?
Is the mic in your iPad, June? Is that what you're using as your mic? And then do you have any headphones in at all?
No.
In your ears? None?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I think that's likely. Are you able to plug in headphones at all to the iPad?
That would have been good to have right here, wouldn't it?
Okay. All right. Well, listen, that's what it is. Now you have to teach people how to be funny when they can't hear you. Go ahead.
Oh,
Okay.
so sad. Well, I will. Well, here we are. So, let me think.
Yes. So how do you satisfy the customer when the audience when they have unusually high expectations, or let me change the question, because I find that it's a very entertainment rich society we're in right now, where people go and just want to be entertained, and you can get entertained by real professionals anytime you want. Like real top-notch people. Even high schoolers are unbelievable now if you go to these plays and things. And so their expectations are even higher. How do you do that, and how do you teach other people to be funny and be amusing whenever people's expectations are there.
I'm afraid to move now because I'm afraid that it's making noise. However, what I always do is it still making noise?
No, you're fine.
You're fine.
Okay, great. So there is a process, Dan, and I have this 5-step process to help people know where to find the funny. And one of the things I always have them do is to start out with something funny about themselves. And so that's what I would ask you. Did anything just come to mind that you can talk about here on daytime TV? And have that IMO is what I call them, idiot moments. And so you're looking at something that can allow you to drop the wall down real quick so that people know you're human and they like you because, and here's a nugget, here's one you want to write down, it is the emotion that runs through it. So when you tell your embarrassing story or your humiliation story or your wow story, whatever it is that the audience can relate to, the emotion of it, then you have them right there, right then.
Oh, very good. And so I remember a million years ago when my kids were small, Sophie was small. Oh my, I can't even tell this story. Okay. But Sophie, no, it's because she would kill me. All right. So, she was small and I was thinking about a different story. I'll tell you this one. This is no problem. So, and when you're a kid and somebody puts a kick me sticker on your back, if your kids ever do that to you, yeah. And so I knew she had put did you just turn your phone upside down? Is that?
This is perfect.
Okay. So she put a kick me sticker on my, well, it's this way. There we go. All right. This is better than the story. Anyhow, I forgot that the kick me sticker was on my back, and we went to a restaurant, and all these people were coming, kind of giggling, whatever. When I came out, finally somebody sat down and told me, "Hey, dude, you got a kick me sticker on your back." And I said, "Okay, whatever." And I talked to a bunch of people up there, and then when we left, I took it off. I said, "Slap that thing back on my back." It was the greatest networking tool I ever had. Because people feel comfortable coming up to you and talking to you about that because they can relate to their own life. Can you? So
I don't think she can hear us. We can't hear you, June. But this is amazing. We needed this. I think.
Okay.
This
thank
is
you.
yeah.
All right.
So I think, June, maybe you've got your iPad. Can you turn it and get it to where you get yourself sort of right side up?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You got to learn how to read lips. Yeah, it's read lips. Go ahead and take your you got an iPad? Take your phone, whatever, and turn it. There you go. There you go. Yeah. All right. Yeah, look at that. Okay. I think maybe the challenge was her internet was no good. Okay, now it's probably muted. When something screws up, it gets So
here this is live tech.
But she doesn't have a mute button. Well, listen, hey, this is what happens on a sales call. This is very good. Marty Friedman has to deal with this all the time. Sometimes you're on a sales call and everything goes wrong, and you need to be able to heal. I mean, to deal with when a nose lands on your fly. When a fly lands on your nose, and you just gotta deal with it and have fun with it. So a June Cline should, and if she was an excellent salespeople like I know all you people are, you need to read lips. You are muted. She can't. Hey, you know what? Is there a little private? Oh, she won't get it.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on the screen.
Yeah, put it on the screen.
Go back out of the StreamYard and then come back.
June Cline is a friend of Allison Wonders, who was here a couple weeks ago, and she was the one who was the ventriloquizer. And so if she were here, she could read lips. Okay, go back.
Come back. We'll be here.
Okay. You think?
I think that will hopefully do the trick. That works sometimes.
you and I, and actually salespeople out there have been using technology for a while, especially with the virus thing and all that stuff. And we've kind of gotten used to it, not realizing that many people for 2 years were just, putzing around, again, being entertained, watching TV, they know how to receive it.
Right.
But when you have to start broadcasting, it's another learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to know that you think that your prospects and your customers. I used to when I was younger and I would go through sales training, that these old guys with gray hair would tell us, "Hey, listen, don't expect your prospects to know much. Pretend like they have the knowledge of a third grader." And I remember thinking it's so demeaning to think that when you're like, no, I want to look at these people. But actually, the salespeople are more teachers and guiders and leaders. They really guide somebody to the sale more than anything else. So a lot of times in sales presentations, what you can do is just say, "Hey, you probably know this, but," and then just go on to it and do it. And so June, you probably.
You are back and we can hear you.
Yes.
And you're the right way up too. This is just.
And so I got to thank you, June Cline, because many times in entertainment, when you're trying to be funny, you're forced to stretch. You're forced just to keep on.
And
talking.
It was brutal, June.
Yeah.
Wait till you go back and watch the replay.
Needed you.
He was really.
I needed you. That's the craziest June Cline. All right, so we were talking about wearing pajamas on a sales call, and so how did you come up with that idea?
I'm wearing them now.
Okay.
No, wearing pajamas on a sales call.
I pay very little attention to what I'm saying.
Okay, let me show you. This is what I used to wear on a sales call.
Yes.
Something like this.
Are those prescription?
Yes. Or something like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The clown nose is good. Nobody is in a bad mood wearing a clown nose. It's impossible.
Okay. There's this. Okay.
Oh my God! I don't think we can wear that now.
Yeah.
Another one. You can make an entrance.
So when you wore the elephant nose, what were the responses when you go in? I mean, did you actually do that? Yeah, I know what I would say. What Chris Stone would say is, that an elephant nose on your face, or you're just glad to see me? But that's him. He's crazy like that. He'll do stuff like that. But what do people say to you?
I will say that I did cease to wear the elephant nose, but it was for me, it was because I'm an Alabama fan, for God's sakes. And so
Roll Tide.
So a pachyderm, is what we are, is elephants.
A pachyderms?
A pachyderm. You've never heard that term? The pachyderm?
What are you, some sort of rhyming guy?
Yeah, like Dr.
A pachyderm. I heard that term. I think I'll have a worm. Don't touch the mic. It has a germ.
Vote for me on another term. I don't know.
Okay.
So I really loved wearing my elephant nose, but when a gentleman in the airport came running up behind me one time and said, ma'am, you dropped your apparatus," I decided it was not something that I needed to continue to do. So, but
all
the
right,
point
yes,
when
what
I
is
was
the point?
in sales for student loans, I had to find a way to make myself look different than the 11 other lenders that were calling on colleges. So I came up with funny ways to enter, and then sometimes the receptionist would go into the director and say, "There's a woman outside with a clown nose on," and he would say, "Oh, that's June Cline. Tell her to come on in." So it became a fun thing that I did, which is how I quit my day job and began to do this full time.
Well, that is awesome.
That.
Okay,
I love how, June, you own it, right? And I think you didn't just wake up like that. You probably had 30 different failures of pachyderm noses and other things that didn't work until you got to the point where there's a bunch of stuff that does work. And I think do you think people are sort of afraid, like they want to be too perfect and they don't want to make those mistakes? Maybe that's why they don't think they're funny, or they don't think, like, they don't work at trying to be funny because they're afraid of those idiot moments.
I think you're spot on, Chris, because I say it's the 3 F's. It's either a fear, frivolity, or forgetfulness. We just forget. And so see, I just did that really good.
That was good.
that
was really good.
Was that intentionally unintentional?
Yeah.
What was that?
And I love that, intentionally, because I used to say that I was intentionally June Cline, but then I became unintentional about it, and so I had to quit. But I am looking at it was a gradual progression, but what really brought me into the full-time world of making my clients, my customers laugh out loud, because I was in student financial aid for 16 years. There's nothing funny about student financial aid until there is. I started collecting student bloopers that were hysterical, some very sad, but they were hysterical. And I started, I want you to remember, I'm teaching you things through here. So really quickly, okay. I want you to, 3 seconds, you really need to always remember this. It needs to pop in your brain in 3 seconds. That might be a challenge for some of us here, but it is about being real, relevant, and relational. Real, relevant, and relational. So that's the filter that needs to come through your brain before it comes out your mouth, because that's where stuff happens when you think you're going to be saying something funny, and it's dependent on the ears of the listener. So you've got to put that through that filter that quick. And I was making light of students' applications. So for instance, well, let's just go straight to the core here. Under sex on the application, we would have just a little blank for somebody to put in an F for female or an M for male. And they would write an epistle, and they would tell us yes, no, sometimes, twice, once in Valdosta again, and so you can't make that up. And it was real, and it was relevant, and it became relational because I volunteered to give a speech. I'd never given a speech. I didn't know, but I had this dozen of bloopers that were hysterically funny. And so I started there. I volunteered to give a speech over humor and financial aid. Well, that made everybody laugh because there was no humor in financial aid. I brought humor to financial aid.
That's awesome.
I had 300 of my closest peers and colleagues in a ballroom. I was terrified. My knees were knocking. My mouth was full of cotton. I thought I was going to pass out. I didn't know what I was getting into.
That's awesome.
Stood up, standing ovation, and a woman came up afterward and said, "How much would you charge to come do that at our association?" And I jokingly said, "Well, how much have you got?" I thought $50. She said, "We have $1,000 honorarium, and of course we pay your travel. I am so there for you." Yeah. And that's how it began over 30 years ago.
Isn't that funny? That is just great. But I think you nailed something. You got to find something funny where there's nothing in there. So the driest thing, the most, serious, that's nobody would expect humor. You find humor in there, and you got yourself an open market. That's great. So what are other? So I love that, by the way, funny in the financial markets, especially when it's going down. You want to.
Well, you look for what are the major problems, and how can you stretch it, twist it, turn it, tweak it just a titch so that it's funny. So you look at
You're just like the queen of the what are they? Not onomatopoeias. What are they?
Alliteration.
Alliterations. Okay, there we go. Thank you.
that
She's like the
I think it's got many legs, a little caterpillar looking thing.
onomatopoeia are words that sound like what they are.
Speaking of caterpillars, do you run over them with your Harley? Are you still out? Are you still the motorcycle Harley riding humorist?
Absolutely. As a matter of man, do I have a story to tell you about that? But we won't go there today. But she's in the shop right now. There it is. There it is. And I have to say, no duct tape was involved in that picture. I accused of duct taping myself to good golly Miss Molly, but that is not the case. So
you are perched on there and are about as happy as someone could be. So that's a great picture. Is that Stone Mountain, maybe? Where is that?
No, that's over at Ackworth Lake. I'm in Kennesaw. So Lori K. Stone, is she related to you, Chris? Do you know Lori K?
I know Lori Stone. She is my sister-in-law, lives in Alden, Michigan.
Well,
maybe not the same Lori. She's Lori. She doesn't go by Lori K.
Well, Lori K is here in Atlanta, and she is one of the best photographers on the planet. So I'm glad you're there, because I was going to tell you to go there because I look at that logo. Isn't that awesome?
That's beautiful.
So I'm so excited because it incorporates the infinity of love, infinity, which laughter is infinity as well. See, once you make somebody laugh out loud, you have forever changed their brain chemistry with their association to you. So that's why it's so powerful, and that's why I'm so passionate about getting people to understand. You got to make people laugh, people. And
wait, so does it make a difference if they laugh at you or laughed with you?
Massive difference. Massive. Thank you for that right there. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I get some people that just, laugh at me, or, there's a cringe laugh too, where people feel sorry for you and they laugh you that way. So if you're changing their brain, it's like I think I told you this story, Chris Stone. I was trying to get a hold of this guy, Mike O'Brien at this place, and I was going there. I probably was there 6 times trying to meet this guy, and I could never get a hold of him. But all the other, the ladies in the office kind of knew me after I kept on calling on Mike O'Brien. And so I walked in and I heard somebody say, "Oh, here he is again." And so when he said, "Here he is again," and so I'm like, okay, well, and then out of my mouth, I heard these words, and I haven't said them before, and I never said them since, but I screamed out loud, "Who does a guy have to sleep with to see Mike O'Brien in this place?" And exactly that, it was like a, stunned silence in the room and all that stuff. But it was the greatest thing. The oldest woman in the place went, "Oh, not me, but maybe Rachel." It was like awesome. And anyway, it was all. And we had a big. But by the way, when she did that, it was like a total release valve that allowed everybody to kind of laugh. The end of the story is I never saw Mike O'Brien. I never made the contact. And I never said that again. Though I did tell the story once at a speech in, I think it was with Comcast or something big. And it was the last time I ever did business with Comcast. Like, that story kicked me out of their program.
Absolutely.
So do you ever get caught like that you might say something that you think is just funny and jovial, but people take it the wrong way?
Well, yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I too have a company that I had a funny pantyhose story, which just about every woman on the planet has a funny pantyhose story. And it was a group for the assistants. I've gone totally crazy on forgetting the admins. It was the admin. You know how they have admin week. Yeah. And so I told this story, and it was about 75 people, and hooting and hollering, and everybody loved it. And 4 people wrote me up for sexual innuendo. And I was supposed to be invited back. So I can't tell you how it is. I can't tell you how real it is, and I can't tell you when I'm not going to step in it because I have been telling that story for years, and it didn't offend anybody. So let's go ahead and get into what one of my friends says. It's gotten so politically correct, we can't do anything. And I don't believe that. And I said, no, that we still have to try. We still have to at least try to lighten this crazy world up. So that's my passion and my purpose. But that's why
June Cline.
I think the voice, we're losing you, June.
Yeah,
June, you're frozen as well. If you
poor
can
June has an internet issue, but Garen Bulgogi over here is in the house.
Oh, it's Max Headroom.
Yeah, we got Max Headroom for June.
Okay,
Cline,
June. There you go. We have live June Cline back.
Oh, LCC. Oh, LJC. Live June Cline.
This is Garen Bellany, and Dan still can't pronounce Garen's name.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Micro that.
Studio.
It's just a Bellany, right? Bellany.
Bellany.
Like
you drive down a lane, if you remember that.
I also have problems with words that have a Y in them, like spelling, like the word Odyssey. Try to spend the. Oh my gosh! I told you I fixed my brakes last weekend.
Okay.
Did I tell you? It's so, I went there to get my brakes done, and they're like 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks? Anyway, so I bought this stuff and I did it myself. You feel like you could do anything. I mean, when you're a kid, you would just like fix stuff because you didn't have the money, so you fix stuff. And then you start paying for other people to do it, and you forget that you could do it. It's easy. You ever see these people working on the cars? I mean, they're just guys or gals. They're easy enough to do. And so I change it. When I stop my car now, I have such confidence. I am braking like a champ. And then they wanted to charge me $150 to change the in-cabin air filter thing. You know the in-cabin air filter? Have you ever had these? Oh, you got to change it. June
As
Cline,
opposed to the out cabin? Air filter. There's an out of cabin. And
that's right.
Well,
I sometimes I have an out of cabin experience.
Yeah.
So the inside.
Some of these jokes are just for him, June.
Anyway, June Cline, have you ever changed your cabin filter in your vehicle? Does she not hear me? Poor June.
No, we're not hearing her.
Oh, you're gonna have to
one more time, June. If you could pop out and then pop back in.
You have to do your thing again.
Yes.
Okay.
So here we go. This is good stuff.
Listen, Garen Bellucci, what did he write? Chris Stone, can you get the good people? Well, here it is. Can you get the good people at Shure Incorporated to send me some of those headphones?
Oh, these headphones?
Yes. Those are pretty. Tell us about those. What is that? What kind of crazy?
These are the Shure SE215 in-ear noise canceling headphones, in-ear monitors. They even make Dan Jordan's voice sound like butter in my ears.
No
if
way.
You didn't think the Samson Q2U microphone, located right down here in the corner, could do the job. It makes it even better. And these are purple.
Cool.
These are purple. These are exclusive purple. Because they Shure did this, and we have June back.
Oh,
Shure did this this thing where they asked everybody, "Hey, we're going to make a color of headphones, in-ear monitors. And they put it up for a vote, and purple won. So
really?
Yeah, and so I like purple. It's on brand. June, can you hear us? And can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes. You sound great.
I want to do over, and I'm coming to one of your studios. And
Okay.
So June, before we lose you to the,
I just did a podcast and it was fine. So I do.
Yeah. Well, we don't deal with just fine here at the Dan Jordan live show. We have Chris Stone, producer extraordinaire. And so the high quality, the machinery that we put in force here doesn't align with the, average stuff.
Well, then I'm I'm coming to one of your places, and we'll do this
That
again.
would be great. We'll have biscuits and
Yes.
tea here in Duluth. But June, I've got a question. What would you consider is your ideal client, the person that you help to sort of, overcome their, and try to get them, to be more humorous and to use humorous and use humor in their humorous bones in their business. Who's your perfect client?
Well, if you go back to that lovely website of mine, I'm so excited, you will see at the very top exactly who I'm choosing to work with now. I started out, like I said, in student financial aid 100 years ago. And then I went to women's conferences as far as that model. But what I'm really passionate about now is getting CEOs and execs to understand the power they have of when they initiate appropriate laughter. So I am doing retreats now, and I just did one in Utah, and 6 CEOs were there, and it was transformational and life-changing for them because they had no idea what they didn't know. And if you'll stop right there on that quadrants, the funny, see, this is my proprietary information and what people don't understand, and what I learned from really 30 years of speaking. But it was actually the first week that I quit my day job and went full time that I was speaking to 4 different groups in the same week, and it did not go great in all of them. And I didn't understand, so I started to analyze, and I discovered that there were comedic styles of audiences. And so what I discovered is some are crazy, some are caring, some are cerebral, or some are caustic. And so now what I do is have execs take the quiz, which takes just 2 minutes, if that. I think you've both taken it before, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be great. I want to know your response as well. But first, let me just say that this is life-changing for people. Marriages, parents that didn't get their kids, or kids that didn't get their parents. People understand that their style of humor is charming or harming, helping their personal and professional relationships. So this is a powerful tool right here.
Wow. Yeah, I seem to recall I was crazy. And Chris Stone, you're costly.
I would not.
What did you call me, Dan?
I would see you no other way, Dan. But this is what I want to say. For the group that reaches out to me through the website, I will give you a free link. The quiz is $19.97 to take that, and then you get 4 videos behind that just to verify which style you end up being. And then for this group, and for now, I would love to offer that link, the freebie, the free link, so that you can know more about your comedic styles, because it really can make or break your relationship. So if you'll just fill out the form at the bottom, then I'll get tagged and I'll send you that free link. Does that make sense?
Fill out the form at the bottom.
So the form is all the way down here.
Yeah.
So
let's have a conversation.
So
but what
have to go to your website.
Yeah. Just go to the website, or put it, if they want to put quiz, would I have access to anybody that writes quiz in your comments and I could send it to them?
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, we can do that, but he'll put something, we'll put something on the screen to your website. Oh yeah, JuneCline.com. Look at that. Chris Stone is always, just go to JuneCline.com and take care of.
There you go. If you want to know, I'll be glad to send you the free link.
So June Cline, I am really interested in this retreat that you said that you do. Mm-hmm. So you get people, they come there. What is aside from taking a quiz? What are you actually? If I were to take it, what would I walk away with? A better marriage. I'll be better looking. All that stuff.
Well, some do walk away with a better marriage.
It's not a miracle thing, Dan.
But yeah, the better looking, you two cannot get any more better looking. So there you go.
That's it.
No,
You need to take Garen Balachiku up on his micro studio.
Yes.
Check this out. And this is good, not just for. I'm not saying this for you. I'm just using this as an opportunity to talk about this because the difference between an executive or someone in their room with the fan going in the background and bad sound when they're on a meeting call. And someone who's using a professional kind of mini studio like only Garen can put together is light years. Even if people make fun of you and say, "Oh, look how fancy you are with your stuff there," they're jealous, and you move up in stature. It's that easy. It's that easy to move up just by making things better. So anybody who's watching this thing, check out Garen. He's a good guy. He's got good hair, and chicks dig him. All right, so
we have somebody that's taking you up on the quiz, Jeff Clays.
Jeff Clays, he needs it because he's dry as sandpaper. The guy is like, imagine
he's here watching us, Dan. You don't you don't shower him with insults. Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff
Thank
Clays. You. Jeff Clays is what we call a FOTD. Fan of the Deej. And I really like Jeff, and he Jeff. We spoke last week, I think on Friday. He's just a good dude, and he's one of those people that just follows through with everything that he says he's done, and I wish him nothing but great success. And you know that, Jeff. Garen, he's going to fly down to Atlanta to set it up with you. He's just trying to get out of Canada. That's what he's trying to do.
Saskatoon, baby. There's nothing up there but basketball nets and a hair product, clearly.
June Cline, I interrupted you for something. What were you talking about? Oh, yeah. We're talking. Are you stuck?
We're frozen again.
Oh, she's frozen again. It might be an internet issue, but I want to find out about those retreat things. How long are they, and what do they do? I mean, how many days is it? I could keep going. I got no problem. I am like I'm like Stretch Armstrong. I'm Stretch Deed Strong. Oh, I spoke with Patrick Tinney. I didn't finish my air filter story.
It should be Deej Armstrong, not Stretch Deej Strong.
Oh,
no, Deej Strong is pretty good, though.
Yeah, Deej. Oh,
let us know in the chat. Stretch Deej Strong or Deej Stretch. Oh my God. What is happening?
It's Stretch Deej. I like Deej Strong.
I think we have a robot voice going on from June.
How did you get that? Or are you using your... Oh, that's good. Garen Bulgogi could figure that out too. He's probably using that thing. Yes.
What were you saying, Dan? Go ahead.
Oh, that is awesome. Gosh, I'm rarely jealous.
June is back. Can you hear us?
No,
we can't hear you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is the best commercial for Garen there ever is. June is frozen. Oh, look who's here. Frozen Marketing is telling us about June being
he's frozen with the fear of Deej. This is the funniest Dan Jordan live show ever. We had this.
That
awesome.
couldn't have been better. Yeah, that was really
June,
good.
we can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, June, I tell you what we're gonna do. We just hang out there and flap your wings. And
let's go ape, everyone.
Yes, and this is what you need to do. Understand, you guys out there can do it. I'm gonna finish that filter story if it kills me.
Well, it's a tease for next week.
Anyhow, if you get when you're a kid, you did so much more kind of just experimenting and trying things, and everything you learn in life is through trial and error. Anything big that was ever created, it was through trial and error. You learn so much more by getting out there, messing up, adapting, changing, and all that stuff. And so if you think you're not funny, if you think you don't have, those type of muscles, that creativity stuff, Go out there and just get one joke. My dad used to tell me, get a helium balloon. Exactly right. My dad used to tell me to have, always have two things. Have, two magic tricks that you know how to do. Have two songs that you could sing the whole way through. Have two jokes in your back pocket that you always have prepared. Just, just anything. I have a standard joke, they want to, a guy walks into a psychiatrist's office wearing nothing but saran wrap. The psychiatrist takes one look at him and says, I can clearly see your nuts. And so it's like, you have these things that are just, there for the taking at any time. And once you prepare, and sometimes you'll mess up and sometimes you'll get kicked out of an office, but you'll learn a little from it.
Or off the internet.
And or off the internet. I mean, it's easy enough to get them, but you can't just read them off the internet and chuckle and tell them to your friends. Perfect them. Practice them, put them in your pocket, and an opportunity will arise. The worst thing you could do is you get to the point where you say, I got a joke, because then you're all messed up, because then they're expecting something. But if it's in conversation and you just lay it out there, people think you're so darn creative. I do that. I can play two songs on the piano. I could sing two songs. I maybe say two songs on guitar. I got a couple of jokes. I could do, I could juggle. I'll do that at a party. They think I'm like brilliant. They've seen my whole repertoire. That's all I got.
I think we need to have that. You need to have that ready when we have issues with audio and video from our guests.
That's right. We need to have now. Can you hear us?
Home Sweet Home is one. I think she can hear us. We can't hear her.
Oh, but we can't. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, this is
we have a recording somewhere, Dan, of you performing Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue on the piano and singing it.
Do I?
It's actually on a podcast, on the Sales Energizer podcast, as an Easter egg.
Oh, really?
At the very end of one of your podcasts, we put that on there.
How
about that for a tease for somebody to listen to it? I keep waiting for someone to say, hey, I love that episode where at the end you sang Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue. It hasn't happened yet.
We have to do more of those things. We have to do more podcasts. I think I'm going to have to. Actually, the new year is coming up. And so we might have to have a
resolution.
Yes, a resolution with stuff. June Cline, I can't tell you how fine it is to see you on this thing. And every once in a while we can hear you and we learn so much. Listen, when you guys are out there, listen, you can make anything funny. If you can make this show funny, you can make anything funny. Chris Stone, thank you so much. Once again, taking care of business like nobody. All you people watching, I wish nothing but good things to happen to you all for the rest of your lives. June Cline, you are the best. I'm going to call you when this is done so I can hear your lovely voice. And everybody, eat well, live long, and prosper. Go get them today.
Well, if your sales team sucks and you don't know what to do, call Deej, 678-910-9912. Call Deej, 678-910-9912.